just did. I did it.
We're live.
We're live, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday night. This is the best possible thing you could be doing on Thursday night, except for what I just did, which was get medicine for bronchitis. That's right. It's panel time, and I'm drugged to the gills. Woo!
All right.
Well, how else would you do this, Joe?
Thank you. Continue.
That cup of bourbon Joe has, that is what we call medicine, technically.
Yes.
Cheers
in Alabama.
to the classics track and jeers to bronchitis.
That is right. Boo, bronchitis. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. As we do with the Battle of the Fictional Bands, please look it up on our YouTube page. It is one of the funnest things you could possibly watch. What we're doing is we're going to pull TV shows randomly out of the Kiss Cup. And we are going to go around to each panelist, and that panelist is going to mash up those two shows and create, as Kevin North, Kevin up top said momentarily ago, it's like a writer's room, and that's how we're going to do it. We're going to draw two names and then combine the two as if one was guest starring on the other person's show or the other program, if you will. These shows range all up and down the spectrum of the classic sci-fi and non-sci-fi realm. And let's just get started, shall we? Kevin Cafferty.
Well, we should introduce. Yep, there we go.
Kevin Cafferty, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Kevin Cafferty. I do podcasts and I make films, and I used to write a lot of crossover fan fiction, kind of jokingly, which I'll talk about at the end of the thing.
Kind of jokingly, he says. And so much, that's such a topic. We can go after that at some point. South of Kevin North, Kevin Eldridge.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm also a Kevin, also based in Massachusetts. There are several of us up this way. I am also a podcaster. My show is called The Flopcast. Hey, there's the address. We are just a ridiculous, geeky, nerdy, silly show, which we do every week on the ESO network.
And welcome, first-time participant in the quarantine panel. You've seen him in the. You've seen words with his name on them before in our chat room. Anthony Davis. Welcome.
Yes, all the time, but even on the Facebook page, I'm just constantly posting stuff. Hey, this goes on the Facebook page. But I am Anthony Davis. I'm just a random guy who loves classic sci-fi and fun.
Here's what happened. Here's what happened to all of us, Anthony. At one point, none of us had been on podcasts or video podcasts or any such a thing. So look around the panel. That's your future, Anthony.
Well, at the moment, I do. At the moment, I do not have podcasts. I have had.
So you're the one.
At a while, I have had a. At a while, I did do a small, brief show called semi-impromptu interviews on my YouTube channel. This is great too, and I did that for a long time on my other socials, which I'll promote after the show.
Yeah,
and I found out about Classic Panel mainly through my best friend Jeff Burns.
Nice.
Super Geeked Up.
Good dude.
And check him out. Go to www.supergeekedup.com and I'll promote him after too.
Hello, Lynn and Sarah.
And let's do this. Let's get started with this thing. And here's what we're going to do. First, I'm going to draw name number one. And then I'm going to draw name number two. And first up, Gary, you want to go first? Or
sure.
Kevin North? First up is Alf.
Okay.
The alien life form.
Gordon Joy.
Yes.
Ah.
You do not need to know any other definitions of the LF in that abbreviation.
And who is good old Gordon crossing over with?
Well, let me tell you, Alf is going to take a trip down to Hazzard County, ladies and gentlemen. Alf is heading to Hazard.
The Duke's a hazard.
The Dukes.
Aye.
Them Dukes. Them
Well,
Dukes.
well,
That's all.
as we know, them Duke boys are not allowed to leave the county. So
Indeed.
Alf is going to have to come to them. So my supposition, someone's got some mic noise. Sorry. There we go. Is Alf picks up a weird radio signal from Melmac promising him a new cat recipe, and he manages to convince the family to take a road trip down to the south, because they never did exactly firm up where Hazzard County is, if I don't remember correct. I do not remember. Someone correct me in the comments if we actually know if it's Georgia or somewhere else. And so, of course, they will be into the speed trap, where Roscoe will see Alf freak out, but Boss Hogg is going to go, there's money in aliens. So the whole episode is going to be a series of cat and mouse games of Roscoe P. Coltrane trying to catch Alf, while them good old boys try to keep him safe and out of the clutches of Boss Hogg. It all comes down to it's going to come down to a contest at the bar where we have to decide whether Alf or Daisy wears the best Daisy Dukes.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
10 out of 10. No notes, Gary.
You're welcome for that mental image.
That is ready
Everyone on the
to
internet.
film.
Yes.
I love it.
So I'm surprised that Alf can pick up CB signals from.
Here is the first thing I thought of was I want to see Alf try to get into the General Lee because the doors don't open. So he's going to have to
yes.
jump with his little alien body. Just, whoop. And eventually, they'll have to like pick him up and toss him in. And he'll go, "Yo, Willie!" as he plummets into the car. And my goodness, I say that's a winner, sir.
Absolutely.
Mr. Gary Mitchell.
And Dukes of Hazzard was part of one of the weirdest TV crossovers ever, because there's a Dukes of Hazzard Alice crossover where Boss Hogg and Roscoe show up at Mel's Diner over on the other side of the country.
Ina showed up in that episode too.
It's amazing.
I feel that Alf should cross over with the Coy and Vance episodes of the Dukes of Hazzard
Oh, yes.
and go, "You're not the Dukes." Ah!
The 1 year.
Hey, Willie, do you think anyone ever tells them they need to put up their Dukes?
See, Alf would do that because
Yes.
he's terrible.
Well, Willie was a ham radio operator. Supposedly, he was
Oh.
a ham radio operator.
That's
And-
how he contacted.
Yes.
Yes.
He was supposedly a ham radio operator. And I know that myself because I'm a ham radio operator.
Yeah.
And ham radio is next to the Citizen Band is right next to the ham radio area. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Ooh.
Uh,
So maybe Gordon was already friends with Cooter by ham radio.
Clearly, that has to be it.
Gordon, you didn't tell me you was so short.
Well,
He's completely unfazed by the fact he's an alien. It's just that, why are you so short?
my bronchitis is acting up. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Let's do this. Man, Dukes of Hazzard and Alf. Let me circle back to Kevin Eldridge. You were going to tell us about the Alice Dukes of Hazzard crossover?
I don't know that there's much more to say except that it happened. I mean, I was
A
so
thing that
confused
exists, yeah.
as a kid because it was just that they roll up in Phoenix. It was Boss Hogg and Roscoe.
After reading comics my entire as a impressionable youth, all I wanted was for every TV show to be part of a connected universe.
Yeah, that was always part of the fun of it. Was what's the shared universe? How far out do these shows extend? Different shows being connected
Yep.
to other ones. You know, the Arnold from Different Strokes crossing over with Ricky on Silver Spoons. You know, like those shows were not one was not a spin-off of the other, but suddenly they were connected. That kind of thing was always really exciting if you're as weird as we are.
Yeah.
If they'd crossed networks, that was even more exciting.
Ooh,
Shocking.
yeah.
Oh yeah, wasn't Twin Peaks supposed to, or not Twin Peaks? Wasn't Picket Fences supposed to cross over with the X-Files and the network chickened out?
They were going to, yeah.
I know that, and we'll probably get to this at some point. Munch, played by Richard Belzer, is the connective tissue behind like 20-something crossovers.
Yeah, he's been that same character in dozens of shows. I just saw him in an Arrested Development recently. But he did that in everything.
Nice.
He's a nice author too.
Oh yeah. At Petticoat Junction and Green Acres, I don't think they were spinoffs. I think they
weren't spinoffs, but they were a shared universe.
They did share a universe together.
They never explained why Aunt Pearl and the lady who ran the Petticoat Junction looked exactly the same, though.
You know, I think Petticoat Junction and Green Acres also was connected to the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, sure, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
there's a whole hillbilly universe.
There's the hillbilly verse. All right, we're going to go into the next one, and that next one is for Mr. Kevin Cafferty.
Yeah, we have to be clear on
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls. All right.
I hand wrote these. The ink is still fresh, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm super prepared.
You're doing your best, Joe. You're doing your best, Joe.
Hey, thanks. That's the medicine talking. All right. Golden Girls, and I think this is cool. Happy Days.
Oh.
I don't know which theme song is better. It'd be like,
Sunday, Monday, Golden Girls. Tuesday, Wednesday, Golden Girls.
Thank you for being.
Thank you for being the Fonz.
Yeah, thank you for being the Fonz. I think that would be good. Golden Girls and Happy Days. So first of all, we have to deal with crossing the space-time continuum because Happy Days quite famously takes place in the 1950s, and the Golden Girls takes place in the 1980s. But since the Golden Girls are advanced in age, I think what we're actually going to see are the young Golden Girls. In the 1950s, you've got all four of them taking a trip to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They stop into Arnold's, and I would say Richie and a young Blanche. As a young Blanche sort of schools Richie in the ways of love, and Fonz is like, hey, these girls are golden, and he punches a jukebox and somehow it plays the thank you for being a friend song, and then they all look at the camera and smile.
I love it. You know, clearly Weezer is playing in the background.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I thought that Richie would be more of a Rose Nyland fan.
Interesting.
You would think that, but
Rose and the Fonz totally hook up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they probably did.
But the chemistry between Blanche and Richie was not to be denied.
No, it was. I feel like
he sings that Blueberry Hill song.
And Blanche is like,
yeah.
What about the mysterious older brother Chuck Cunningham disappeared the very night that the Golden Girls visited Arnold's, and then somehow reappeared in modern day Florida 30 years later?
That's what kicks off the episode. Is Chuck he moves into the retirement community,
Oh my gosh. Guys, this is gold. We can make $7 or $8 off of this thing. That's brilliant. Don't steal this. Anybody involved with Columbia Pictures or Universal? I don't even know who owns things anymore. That's brilliant. I was thinking I was thinking that Potsy and Rose are gonna at some point. Potsy's gonna say he's gonna meet her in St. Olaf and then forget to write her phone number down or her address because he's freaking Potsy.
Yeah,
I think that's, and then so he'll wonder for his entire life what could have happened to him and Rose.
And I guess that Ralph Mouth will talk to Ma about pumping the blood through the circular system. Do you remember that song he did? Pump, 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 pump your blood.
Oh my gosh!
I remember I know the Potsy "Pump Your Blood" song.
And young Dorothy performs a number with Leather Tuscadero.
Oh, a number.
Yes, a number as played by the great Susie Quattro.
Yes,
Susie Dadgum Quattro. I love it. I love it. Blanche and Mr. Oh, but Mr. Cunningham would be Tom. Come on, Mr. Cunningham is married.
Well, he doesn't realize it today.
Thank you. That works. I'll allow it. Mr. Cunningham would never. All right, here we go. Anthony.
Well, obviously, he did 3 times.
Well, 2, and then the one that nobody talks about. So, Anthony, it is your turn, sir.
All right.
And first up is for you the Munsters.
All right.
In the news in the last couple of days because we're the American Sci-Fi Classics Track and we lead the way, everybody. The Munsters are going to cross over with Mission Impossible.
Oh God, I don't even.
The Kiss Cup is cruel at times.
Yes.
Monsters Impossible.
You know, I don't even think I watched Mission Impossible much at all. I know I didn't. Was Leonard Nimoy in that? A few episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in that. Okay. Well, then probably what would happen is that Grandpa from the Munsters, being a mad scientist that he is, probably rigs up his radio to the spy bands, and listening to the spy bands, and he hears he hears Leonard Nimoy's voice in the background, and he's and he gets he gets Herman involved, and Herman's son
Eddie.
They go on. Him and Grandpa go on this secret mission together. Eddie and Herman go on this secret mission together, while trying to figure out who this character is over the radio.
I can see it as all being one big misunderstanding because, you know, Grandpa's from old Eastern Europe. So the MI team has to make sure, is he a spy? And it's like, no, he's just a goofball. He's a vampire. Wait.
He's just like 700 years old. He's settled down, more or less. I love it. And is there a more appropriate actor to appear on the Munsters than Peter Graves?
Oh, that's perfect.
So there you go. All right. That was good. Anthony, good stuff.
Yeah. I BS that really well.
Yeah. Welcome to the American Sci-Fi Classics Track. All right. Up next, Mr. Gary Mitchell.
No, you skipped
Did we
Kevin.
miss Kevin E?
Boom.
Kevin.
I almost got
See?
away with that one.
Dang it. All right. Kevin
Yes.
E. Sibling of Sheila E., no doubt.
Absolutely. She got all the drumming skills in the family.
Yeah.
And
You
yet
got the hair.
I'm somehow living the glamorous life, nevertheless.
Here is who you drew in the first position, and that is the Brady Bunch.
Oh, come on.
Oh, fun.
My favorites.
Mm.
All right.
Pardon me. Their opposition. They're the people. They are the person or people they are meeting. MacGyver.
Okay. All right. Well, clearly the least MacGyverish of the
Or
Bradys is Peter, because Peter couldn't hack it working at a bicycle repair shop. So thus
He did make that volcano, though.
he does make a mean volcano. That's true. Yeah, which explodes all over Marcia and her friends.
They had it coming.
The Bradys need a new cousin Oliver. Robbie Wrist has packed his bags and skipped town, and they need MacGyver, because only the technical mechanical genius of MacGyver can worm his way into the Brady household as a new weird extra guy lurking around freaking everybody out. That's MacGyver. Oh yeah, I think he he could certainly rig something out of Tiger's doghouse, which was largely abandoned for most of the series after that dog mysteriously disappeared under very unpleasant, mysterious circumstances. MacGyver could certainly come in and take care of that.
I could see one episode where MacGyver invents auto-tune to improve Peter's voice.
MacGyver's going to save the silver platters. Yes.
You could totally make that work.
Do you think at some point
change.
Greg, impressed by MacGyver, gets himself a mullet?
Ooh.
Greg tries to go full
Absolutely.
MacGyver. Yes. Yes. MacGyver's probably responsible for the hanging beaded curtains up in Greg's attic apartment also. Because
I'm sure in one episode, instead of the Marcia, it'd be MacGyver.
Perfect.
Yes, we get the startling revelation in this episode that MacGyver was actually a middle child.
Right.
And that's what drove him to become a master gadgeteer.
Just like Jan, just like Alice, also MacGyver. Yes. I think there could also be a big revelation that Mike Brady's not really an architect. Certainly not a good architect.
No.
And, you need the genius of MacGyver just to keep that house up and running.
Probably
He designed those stairs.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The
Just the
stairs,
stairs.
yes.
Probably
Yes.
tell Sam the butcher how to improve his cooling system.
How did that happen? All right. Now we're going back around to Kevin Cafferty. Doodly doop doop
What do you
doo.
got for me, Joe?
The $6 million man. No stranger to spinoffs
Mhm.
and big feet. His awesome. This is $6 million man crosses over with Quantum Leap.
Oh,
Easy.
So Sam Beckett leaps into the robot Bigfoot, obviously. And so the robot Bigfoot's in the forest going, oh boy. Dean Stockwell shows up and is like, Sam, you're a robot Bigfoot. I didn't even think you could leap into robots. And Sam's like, well, I guess I can. And then the $6 million man still thinks he needs to take the robot Bigfoot out. So they fight for a bit, as in all good superhero crossovers. And then
you
they
mean I gotta
become
fight
friends.
this guy?
Yeah, and then they become friends, and Sam is there to make sure that the $6 million man is there to save the bionic woman. So it all comes together, and then Sam never leaped home.
Also, to fix history, maybe they need to get Bigfoot to get into wrestling.
Ooh.
Clearly.
Oh,
Shape
I've got a
down,
thing for you.
man.
It's called a singlet.
There's gotta be a segment where Sam and only Sam hears the running noises of Bionic Man. It's like, what is that?
Why does he
noise?
make that noise? What noise?
Ooh, what if that noise is talking to Ziggy? What if Ziggy is communicating with the bionic implements in $6 Million Man's accoutrement?
Ooh.
And I don't know what they're saying, man. It was the 70s. Probably stuff we don't want to know about.
No.
It was all through BBS systems.
All right. Mr. Gary Mitchell.
Yes, sir.
Ho-ho! Three's Company!
I'm gonna knock on your door.
Oh,
We're waiting for you.
I'm so happy.
Oh God. Oh God.
Three's Company and MASH.
Oh God.
God.
John Ritter did appear in a MASH episode.
Did he really?
Yeah, he played a soldier on MASH once.
Nice.
All right. So in that case, obviously the wacky hijinks are that John Ritter's old army buddy Hawkeye is coming to town, and he's got to set him up on a date, and he tries to set him up with Chrissy, but Mr. Furley mishears it and thinks that he's trying to date John Ritter. And so he's freaking out because, oh my God, these two gay guys are going to have a date in my apartment that I rent out.
So what you're saying, Gary, is that this is a Three's Company episode based upon a misunderstanding.
Yes.
When someone overhears something. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
And then
never
it's
done
a
that
bold
before.
move, but I like it.
Bold move. Indeed.
Mr. Furley mishearing Hawkeye and Jack, that itself is overheard by Radar O'Reilly also, who can mysteriously hear everything.
Indeed. Perhaps the person that John Ritter played in MASH is an ancestor of Jack Tripper.
His
And
uncle.
let's say uncle.
Jack
because
Tripper's
really,
uncle.
It was only like 20 years between MASH and Three's Company. It seems like it ought to be 50, but it was like 20. So
I like I like Colonel Potter crossing over with Mr. Furley. I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely.
Oh, there we go. Klinger. He never got out of the habit.
Yep.
and
I think Klinger would like to wear Mrs. Roper's big flowing dress things.
Oh my
would
gosh.
totally fit on Jamie's Farr.
oh my gosh. So Mr.
And of
Furley
course,
has
Mr. Roper actually thinks it's his wife. And
Yeah, Mr. Roper would not notice Mrs. Roper being replaced by Klinger.
Mr. Roper has this complex plot to finally throw Jack out once and for all, and he hops into bed one night. He's gonna tell. I think her name was Gladys. I could be Agnes. I think it's Gladys.
I think it was that. Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't remember. Negative 1,000.
why are your legs
points.
so hairy tonight? Didn't you shave?
It's Klinger, and of course, Mr. Roper then totally panics, forgets where he is, goes roaming the countryside like Kane on Kung Fu.
Which is another new show.
Yes.
Yes.
All
Roper
right.
Foo.
Roper. Okay, here we go. We are back to Anthony.
All right.
This has been a delight. I'm excited about this one as well. Knight Rider.
Oh, another show I watched too much of.
Yes. Knight Rider meets the Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Good. Even though I didn't watch Knight Rider a lot. Okay.
You didn't have to.
I didn't, but I watched enough of it. But I do love the Andy Griffith Show, as I said. before. I love the Andy Griffith Show. It's a part of the South. You know, growing up 30 minutes away from Mount Airy, North Carolina, which is Mayberry. And now I'm 30 minutes north of there. I've been to Mayberry quite a bit. And so I know a lot about those characters. Who did Hasselhoff play in
Michael Knight.
Michael Knight. Okay. The story would go opening scene, Mayberry, and speeding through these backwoods of Mayberry, and
every speed limit.
We hear the old fashioned siren going off. and Barney Five comes out, goes, "Now listen here, bub. There ain't no speeding through here in Mayberry. What's the problem? Now, what's going on?" And you hear Kit's voice, played by the guy who played Mr. Feeney in Boy Meets World. You hear him go, "Michael, I believe it's local law enforcement." And he's like, "So are you local law enforcement?" "Yeah, I'm local law enforcement. I got a bullet in my pocket and I'm going to use it."
Andy, you won't believe what I saw today. That car talked. I swear. Now, Barney, Barn, you need to calm down.
So, we need to nip it in the bud. Nip it now.
But you look like you have a note.
Never mind Michael Knight. I want to get Otis the drunk behind the wheel of Kit. He'll just spin around town, and then he'll just quietly let himself into the jail cell.
Mother.
I swear, Andy, I wasn't driving drunk. I was just drunk.
The car was driving itself. I was just sitting there in the driver's seat.
Michael gets roped into eating a bunch of Aunt Bee's pickles.
Yes.
and Michael wants to know why all these hillbillies, all these the Darling gangs.
The Darlings.
The Darlings and them, and wanting to know what all these songs are about. Broken Heart Mother.
Oh my gosh, you guys! Michael Knight at the end of the episode convinces the Darlings to go straight. Because David Hasselhoff, of course, big in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he would join the Darlings in a lovely musical rendition of, let's say, "Oh My Darling." I don't know.
It'd be Dooley
Dueling banjos.
Dooley.
The Dooley Banjos.
I love
the new spinoff.
Oh, that's good. That's gold. That's solid.
And in Opie's guy somewhere, like, "I get to go venture sleeping. I get to sleep between the cot, between the army board."
Oh my gosh.
That's just a hit for all Andy Griffith shows.
Everyone. There's
so yeah.
Who's up next?
I didn't have a fever before, but now.
And you gotta love my Barney Fife impression.
That's good. That is top notch.
I'd also just like to mash up those theme songs too. Like, just get the Knight Rider theme, but with whistling.
Oh, I would love that.
Oh my gosh. I don't know who's watching. I don't know who's watching right now. Who's watching when we post this on YouTube in the future? Get on it.
Yes.
Look, I'm begging.
And then get Vangelis to do the Andy Griffith theme.
Yes. Rock and roll. Okay, here we go. We are back to Mr. Kevin Cafferty. No, Mr. Kevin Eldridge. Look, all you people look alike to me.
Yeah, either one. We're largely interchangeable.
And your next participant is Gilligan's Island.
Oh, yes. I'm hitting all the Sherwood Schwartz tonight.
Yeah.
They have a cream for that.
It's absolutely a creepy euphemism for something.
Only the best concepts.
This should have happened. Could have happened. Gilligan's Island crossover with Bewitched.
Well, of course. Which is the more realistic show? I wonder at first, because that's a tough call.
I think the one with the witch.
Absolutely. Yeah. We love Bewitched here in Massachusetts. There's a beloved Bewitched statue. If you go to Salem, Massachusetts, there's an Elizabeth Montgomery Bewitched statue in the middle of town. It's beautiful.
We're coming.
We don't have any Gilligan statues. Maybe if you go out in the middle of the ocean somewhere,
there's some island, some random island out there.
Where's the Gilligan statue? All right. Well, we got to keep the castaways on the island, of course. So I'd say we want Bewitched. We want the Bewitched people to suddenly pop up on the island, right? On the lagoon. I love that it's a lagoon. You know, they're on a little island in the middle of the ocean, but they don't like to show the ocean because that's harder to replicate on the set. So it's always they're a bit inland on a lagoon, so they can have those nice, calm, creepy studio waters, which I enjoy.
Well, probably what would happen is Dr. Bombay.
I want to hear Anthony play this out. What you got?
Dr. Bombay, who probably was friends with all the headhunters. They were headhunters, and they probably he was involved somehow. I bet.
Clearly,
yes.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a faithful witch. It'll be like that.
The songs do mash up nicely.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
I'm also concerned about Elizabeth Montgomery and Dawn Wells meeting. Just the cute explosion that might just tear a hole in the fabric of the universe.
Now, I think that let's say Larry Tate somehow comes along. I think he and Mr. Howell would get along great.
Oh, they would get along famously.
They probably have met before at some society affair.
Oh, Howell, old boy, where have you been?
And
I have to tell you, I've been dining on coconuts for 3 years. It's terrible.
Of course, at the end of the show, like right after the whole cast of Bewitched just kind of smiles and waves goodbye and disappears, then they realize, oh, she could have just wiggled her nose and transported all of us off the island. But oops, we forgot to even ask.
Yep.
Oh, I like this idea from Tom. Endora banishes Darren to the island.
And Darren has a stage 5, Pier 6 freakout.
You know, he starts out as Darren 1, but when he pops to the island, he's Darren 2.
I like it.
He goes from Dick York to Dick Sargent, and then when he pops back, he's back to Dick Sargent. It explains everything.
Brilliant. I love it. I love it.
Yes, Professor. You're a professor and you can't build a radio.
I built a radio out of a coconut, thank you.
Okay.
You can't fix a ship.
Nope.
The bottom line is would watch.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yes.
Oh, please.
So, all right. Kevin Cafferty, up next for you, sir, is Scooby-Doo. Where are you?
Okay.
Very specific.
First 2 seasons of Scooby-Doo.
I think I would allow the Scooby-Doo movies universe to intrude upon.
Those are crossovers unto themselves.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Second season of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Has pop songs in it, though.
You are correct.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you said to yourself, I bet I know the show Joe's going to put in the Kiss Cup. And ladies and gentlemen,
can I guess?
Yes, you are correct. It is Manimal, ladies.
Yes. Does it rhyme with Schmanimal?
Manimal.
I was hoping for that Scooby-Doo Twin Peaks crossover.
I was hoping for that too, but this is just as good, I think. Obviously, there is rumors in some town of a panther and a snake and a bird, which I think are the only things Manimal ever turned into, like terrorizing a town.
Yep.
So Mystery Incorporated gets in the mystery machine and heads out there, and there are sandwiches and Scooby snacks aplenty, but it finds out that it's actually Manimal is also trying to solve a the usual Scooby-Doo nonsense of like there's a prospector who's trying to scare people away from a thing. So again, as with the other one, they chase each other around for a bit because Manimal thinks that like Scooby and Shaggy are part with the prospector. So there's a panther chase, and then they bond over a 15-layered Dagwood sandwich.
Yep.
Shaggy goes, like he can turn into animals, Scoob. And then they unmask someone, and in a twist, the prospector says, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling manimals.
Yes.
Indeed. I love it.
I hope there's a scene where Manimal is in like panther form and they're trying to pull his mask off and they're just tugging on the head of a giant cat.
And he's a real panther because he animalized into the panther. So he's furious, guys. He's going to kill Scooby. He's totally going to murder them. It'll be fine, though. It'll be fine.
It's hard because usually the conceit of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Is there are no like kind of supernatural things. It's very much like, but I feel
Manimal
like
is science.
For something like this with science, I think we'll make an exception.
I think we'll make an exception.
Manimal is just good science.
Yes,
Look,
it's
makes
too
sense.
good not
Look.
to do.
Hey, he spent years. How does it go, Joe?
He spent years researching the secrets of man and animal and man. Manimal. William Conrad, ladies.
I've never seen that show.
Anthony wants
need to watch
have
it.
it up.
My 5-year-old, like a couple weeks ago, said to me, like, Daddy, I wish there was a show where a guy could turn into different animals to fight bad guys. And I was like, well, you're in luck, young man.
All right. Now we are over to Gary. And Gary, we are down to we are down to 4 more items in the Kiss Cup. And the next item up for bid is the Addams Family.
Oh.
And they are going to be crossing over with Frasier.
Oh,
I love it.
All right. So the obvious one for me is that the radio station that Frasier works for is going up for sale. And the newest investor to keep is this eccentric guy named Mr. Addams, Gomez Addams. And he's coming with his wife and children to tour the radio station to see whether or not he wants to invest.
Mm-hmm.
Niles ends up on a blind date with Cousin It.
Of course.
Grandmama and the father have a wonderful evening together.
Frasier's dad, whatever his name is.
Frasier's dad, yes.
Thank you.
yeah.
And Thing and the dog have a wonderful time chasing each other around the apartment.
Of course.
And
And
Frasier the entire time is just apoplectic that the family is going to make a bad impression on Gomez. And of course it ends in a sword fight.
Of course. Now, a sword fight between Frasier.
Between Frasier and Gomez.
Okay.
Where is Niles? Is he completely panicked and running away from Wednesday and Pugsley are tormenting him for
Yes,
hours.
the entire time. He gets forced into babysitter duty.
Love it.
I feel like a revelation that Maris and Morticia were at university together.
Yes. Yes, they were sorority sisters.
Yes.
Well, Frasier did have a son, and it'd be about Pugsley and Wednesday's age.
That is ooh. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his son. I don't remember his son's name, but
And I just hear Niles saying, "Speaking of unfathomable dark terror, how is Maris?"
Perfect. Anthony, last pick before
Okay.
our episode wraps up, sir.
Oh,
Introducing.
yes. Fester used to be a regular at Cheers.
Of course. Was Christopher Lloyd on Cheers at some point? I bet he was.
Yes. I think so.
I bet he was. Clearly disguised Fester when he did that. All right. This may be an all group mashup.
Yep. Since it's the last one, yeah, let's all contribute.
This is a team effort.
Team effort.
Yay!
Forever Night.
Ooh.
No, I never watched that much.
I
Okay,
don't know
well,
what that is.
It's Canadian vampires.
It's a vampire show.
Yeah,
He's
I know
a
my
vampire
brother
and a
Vampires
cop.
got it.
I'm sure there's a VHS tape of it somewhere.
Oh, there is.
Buried somewhere.
Canadian vampires.
All I need
And-
to know is Canadian vampires. I'm good.
And by
I'm on
somewhere,
board.
I mean on my shelf,
I
right
know my brother watched that.
here is what they're
All
crossing over with. What the Forever Night is crossing over with. Lois and Clark. The
Oh,
further
new
adventure of
adventure.
Superman. Superman versus vampires, you guys.
Well,
What's he gonna do?
obviously,
Superman has problems with magic. Doesn't care for it.
yeah. Well, obviously, Clark has had to go to Vancouver to investigate a weird series of murders on behalf of the Daily Planet.
Also, because that's where they shoot Smallville.
Yes.
See?
Yep.
It's probably where they shot
And-
Lois and Clark, too.
Probably.
yes. And
And
Lois
Stargate.
meets this charming police detective who only works at night, named Nick Knight.
Mm-hmm. And she goes, "That's weird." And he goes, "Yeah," and that's it.
She goes, "I've never heard of your show." And he goes, "Well, we're on CBS Crime Time after Prime Time, where only the best shows live."
Only the best shows. But Lois and Clark, though, were on like Sunday afternoon if football wasn't on.
It was on like 7 or 8 at night, something like that.
Yeah. You had to wait for football to be over to watch Superman. And
Well,
ladies,
one
and
of the
gentlemen,
reasons he's a vampire in Vancouver is that in the winter those nights are really long.
yeah,
They're like 37 hours.
that is correct. That is 100% science.
So who's the villain? Who do
Who
they?
is the villain?
It's gonna have to be. Does Superman have a
Yeah,
vampire?
lots of them.
The
Mar-
bad guy?
No, that's
Vampire villain.
Energy
No.
vampire.
That's
Oh
that's
yes,
Marvel.
it's Parasite. It's Parasite.
We'll
Yeah.
call
That's why
we'll-
Nick is involved, because it's like it looks like a vampire, but it's not
I was
drinking
going to say
any blood.
Morbius, but that's Marvel.
That is Marvel. Parasite.
Yeah.
His powers work. He sucks the energy out of people. I'll go for it. So here is what's going to happen. They're all assembled in Vancouver, or no, Montreal for some reason, and then hijinks ensue, and somehow Nick Knight ends up played by Drew Carey. That's good. An ABC crossover, ladies and gentlemen. Look, this is business. We are handling business right here. What happens is Nick Knight and Superman solve the issue, whatever it happens to be, but dawn breaks over Vancouver. Nick Knight in the middle of the city, no place to go. Well, guess who has super speed? That's his friend Superman. Superman takes Nick Knight, boom, shoots him. Well, maybe he doesn't throw him. That's probably not good. Let's say he just carries him gently aloft into the shade or into his vampire apartment, and then Nick Knight says, "Thanks, man. I'm sorry, Deanna, our Canadian friend Deanna. She's gonna kill me." He says, "Thanks, would you like some poutine?" And Superman goes, "No, thanks. I heard that's laced with kryptonite." And the end.
And scene.
And scene.
No
Guys,
notes.
Thank you.
And somehow Just League America and Just League Canada and Just League International all get some of something.
Oh, no. Yeah. But the budget, man, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Lois
They've
and
got,
Clark,
like-
not so much with the budgets.
No. They've got like
And
two
Forever Night
Canadian
even
dollars.
less so.
Yes.
All right, so let's go around the horn and everybody tell people where on the interwebs or in real life you'd like to be found. Let's start with Kevin Eldridge.
Well, you can find me, right here, flopcast.net. My podcast is called The Flopcast. And yeah, we just do silly stuff just like this every single week. And in between shows, we're just hunting for Canadian vampires.
It's true. It's true. And Anthony Davis.
Okay, well, I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on various places on the interwebs.
Do it.
You can find my YouTube channel where I put up vlogs about me and my family and things going on in my life. You can find me at Lister's Mate 2. Lister's Mate with the number 2 at the end of it. You can find me on the Twitters, at Anthony P. Davis 5. On TikTok, find me at Anthony Davis 63. Where
don't be fooled. Those first 62 Anthony's are weirdos.
And I know. I'm the 63rd one. That's the best one. If you want to join me virtually on Pokemon Go, which I play devotedly, friend code 583494245207. Also, I'm involved in putting up various pictures on the internet on a app called Jigsaw Planet, which is more of a website than an app, in which you can find the picture of the Sci-Fi American track. Jigsaw Planet allows you to take a picture and upload it and turns it into an online jigsaw puzzle anywhere between 400 to 300 pieces, depending on the file size and the picture format and all that. And so you can find all my pictures there. Just go to Jigsaw Planet and look for Lister's Mate. Also, I help out my gym. The reason I'm promoting my gym is because it's named Curtis Bartlett Fitness Center here in Galax, Virginia. Curtis Bartlett was a local guy. He worked for the state police. He died in a car wreck. His family, he was an avid fitness junkie, and his family got together and in his honor made a gym. So it's a nonprofit organization. What they do is for anyone who is on law enforcement, first responders, or EMT, they pay your way to come in and work out. Excuse me.
Did I somehow pass my bronchitis through the internet, Anthony?
I believe so.
I apologize.
So yeah, if you want to help the Curtis Bartlett Gym, help them get equipment and stuff, find them on Facebook, Curtis Bartlett Fitness Center. You can send them donations if you want to. 189 Willow Bend Drive, Galax, Virginia 24333. And the last thing I'm involved in is the first full week of August every year. This will be the 86th annual Fiddlers Convention here in Galax, Virginia, held by the local Moose 733. The Fiddlers Convention is going on for 86 years now. It would have been 87 if COVID didn't happen.
Yeah.
But if you want to see the Fiddlers Convention, go to oldfiddlersconvention.com and you'll see all pictures and stuff from the previous events. They do need money. The COVID really hit them financially hard, really bad. Keep that going. That tradition needs to keep going strong. If you want to help folk and old time music keep going here at Galax, help the Fiddlers Commission by sending money to the local Moose Lodge 733, P.O. Box 655, Galax, Virginia 24333.
And all these, all this information from Anthony is going to be on our YouTube notes after I post the full panel on YouTube after it uploads and all that stuff.
And also, since I'm a great friend,
Yeah. And Kevin Cafferty.
Gleamingthetube.net is where you can find my podcast, Gleaming the Tube, where my co-host Michael and I endeavor to watch and discuss every movie that involves skateboarding in some capacity. The most recent episode is about Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and we are gearing up to cover Pretty in Pink. So I'm excited for that. I don't normally plug this, but for the purposes of this particular panel, I would say that sleepnomore.fanfiction.blogspot.com is where you can find the Sleep No More crossover fanfiction blog, a blog I did about 10 years ago where I took the experimental modern dance show Sleep No More and crossed it over in fanfiction form with a bunch of different things, including Alf and the Coy and Vance episodes of the Dukes of Hazzard. So go check that out. It's possibly the dumbest thing I've ever been involved in.
And that bar.
And I've been a guest on the Flopcast. So
that's saying something.
So Gary, Kevin, Anthony, and also a different
Other Kevin.
Oh,
Other Kevin.
No, we already did other Kevin.
We did me.
Yep.
Oh,
Now
we
we
did?
got to do
Okay.
Gary.
You can find me here with him.
It's
God
me.
help me. Every other week when we do this, and you can find me on the Twitter right here, where I usually am annoying people of a certain particular political bent, and and then in just a few short weeks, you can find us at Dragon Con, where we'll be doing this live and in person.
Live and in person, and on a scale of 1 to like 500,000, how close to being ready do you think we are?
Which number is the low number?
1.
Then we're at 3.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're ahead of where we usually are.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is really par for the course.
Yeah.
Uh,
The next thing we're doing, though, is in 2 weeks, where
Mhm.
we will be discussing So Much Yummier, 30 Years of Batman Returns.
Yes. And that movie is great. It's great. It's got Christopher Walken and Batman, ladies and gentlemen.
It is bat nipple free.
Yes. No bat nipples. So, ladies and gentlemen, Gary, Kevin, Anthony, Kevin, me. Thank you for showing up and hanging out with us for a little while, and join us in 2 weeks here at the American Sci-Fi Classics Track, where you will hear Gary say,
Does this pleather make my ass look fat?
why? I'm going to end that broadcast.
And Brady says, "Nip it in the bud."
Oh,
Meow.
Nip it in the bud.
help.